What's going on, everybody? Let's Talk Jets Radio. Quick video here as we are less than a week away from the draft, and somehow we are still talking about Aaron Rodgers. You guys know I couldn't miss an opportunity to do a quick video on this story today with Rodgers on McAfee, essentially throwing Aaron Glenn and the team under the bus. You might be surprised at what some of my takes might be on this, because I'm not totally siding with Aaron Rodgers or Glenn. I'm pretty neutral about it. Don't even honestly want to talk about it. Like, the Rodgers era is over. It's been over. I have no interest in like rehashing, what could have been or what I thought should have been. Like, it's done. It's over with. But because it was in the news today, I figured I would at least make a quick video about it. And I think more than anything else, starting, from the side of Aaron Glenn, I think he viewed this as an opportunity to really put a stamp on making this his team and showing the rest of the players in the locker room that we're doing things my way. And if you're not fully on board, if there's any potential drama, or if you're going to undermine me in any way, like, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not even going to entertain it. You're out. So kind of going like Bill Parcells mode. It's not about the individual or the player. It's about the team. And that's going to be first and foremost. And if I think you might be detrimental to that, I'm sending you out. I think that was what was at the heart of why Aaron Glenn approached it his way, as far as, walking out of the meeting within seconds, apparently, and then coming back with Muji and just being like, yeah, we're not interested here. So there's that side of it. Then there's the side where I do feel like this was perhaps an opportunity that was missed, as far as, one, not treating a guy that's a Hall of Fame player with maybe a little bit more respect, considering that I think he was well liked in that locker room. We've heard Sherwood talk about him. Quinn Williams was upset when he got cut. I think there were a lot of guys, especially if you watched training camp. I was there almost every single day. I think he was, in spite of what the media is going to tell you, I think he was very respected in that building by a lot of players. I think it was an opportunity to perhaps send him out with a little bit more grace. Not saying, they should have called him over the phone or done it in person or email. No matter how they did it, they would have got criticized for it. So I'm not saying it like that. Just maybe showing like a little bit more respect for the fact that, like, yeah, this guy did try to come here. He did want to do good. It didn't work out. So, like, we're not going to send you out, without having that conversation first. And I do think the conversation at least should have been had, from the standpoint of, I think it was a missed opportunity not to maybe gauge a little bit more about what's been going on in the organization. Because clearly, after the last 14 years, there are some very deep-rooted issues going on inside that building, whether you want to say ownership, just, lack of accountability, lack of culture, all these different things that we've talked about as far as, why Aaron Glenn is ultimately here to try to change all these things. And so, if I'm Aaron Glenn, I want to have as many different conversations with every single person that's been in this building and really get a true consensus of what's wrong, what some solutions might be, what some solutions in-house might already be that we have here, and really just try to figure out how we're going to go about fixing it. And so I think there was an opportunity that was definitely missed there, just to at least have the conversation, pick his brain a little bit. You might say, like, he would offer nothing in a conversation or provide no value. I would disagree with that. I think there is a reason why a good organization like the Steelers clearly want to bring him in as their quarterback, aside from the fact that I don't think he's washed up. But more than anything, like I said in the beginning, I think this was just Aaron Glenn really trying to use this as an opportunity to put his stamp on the team and show the rest of the locker room that you have to fall in line or else you're out. And that's ultimately what's going to be needed. If we want to have the changes that we talk about, a head coach like that is what's needed. I might disagree with the decision and how they went about it, but ultimately, if you're talking about changing this culture, you're going to make some decisions that are going to rub some people the wrong way. And there might be other guys, ultimately, that don't fall in line, and they'll probably end up following Aaron Rodgers out the door. But the hope, I think, is going to be that those that stay and those that you ultimately bring in through the draft, which is probably how you want to build your team, those are the ones that right away are going to get the message that I'm not fucking around here. So I think that was at the heart of why Aaron Glenn did it the way that he did it. But Rodgers, I think, would have been pissed off regardless of how the Jets did it. He's a guy that looks to, put a chip on his shoulder, the way he fell in the draft, the way the Packers handled things on the way out. I think he's always trying to find different things to motivate him. And so no matter what the Jets did, I think he probably would have been pissed off and kind of taken it to heart. So I don't blame him, I think, for venting a little bit and speaking some things that may have been true. But at the same time, I think that he probably has to understand why Aaron Glenn chose that approach, because Glenn is not going to take a chance in his first year with somebody that may undermine him or may not fully embrace the kind of culture that he wants. A little confused, I guess, at why he wouldn't want to have that conversation first. But again, that's him saying, I'm no nonsense, I'm no bullshit. So kind of understand it, kind of don't really care enough to really get invested emotionally either way, because it's done. And we got the draft in a week, so it's like we got new players to talk about soon. So I'm just excited for the draft. And lastly, before I go, thank you to everybody that has reached out to me. I know some of you guys saw my Instagram story where I posted my X-ray. Got 3 broken bones in my 5th metacarpal. So if you guys know any good orthopedists, please let me know. I've been home like the last week, just trying to keep this thing immobilized and elevated as much as I can. Sucks because it's my dominant hand, so a lot of shit that I'm really struggling with doing as far as just, like making food and, showering, getting dressed and things like that. But trying to avoid surgery, so I'll probably figure out in about a week or so what the outcome's going to be here. But appreciate those that have reached out. Talk to you guys soon.